biopsy forceps, like the one which I am holding in my hand, they will have a central metallic spike also. Some don't. Okay? And the jaws are basically like cups. They are like this. So you can take a bite of the tissue, and that tissue which is biopsied is now securely held between the two cups. So what's the idea of having this metallic spike? Sometimes the tissue from where you are going to take the biopsy can be very hard. Malignant growths are very, very hard. And if you simply go ahead and place this biopsy forceps and try to go, the tissue is very hard and integrated. You will not be able to take the bite. In fact, the biopsy forceps, as it closes, it simply slips off the tissue. So this spike here, first with the open jaws, you go to that lesion and press it again. The spike anchors the tip of the biopsy forceps onto the target. It's not going to slip off now, and then you slowly and firmly. These are the things which you have to train your assistant to do. Slowly and firmly take a bite. Always slow and firm. Many a times they will just, you have asked him to take a and will suddenly close it. This is not adequate biopsy. This is the wrong technique. Slow and firm. Slow and firm. Okay? So I can just pass it on to you so that you can keep seeing the various accessories which are available. The next accessory, as you can see here, are your sclerotherapy needles. Sclerotherapy needles. Again, this is again a wire instrument. See this? This is your long sclerotherapy needle, and again they will come in different lengths. The scope lengths are also different, isn't it? So they will have different lengths of needles also. So see, what you see here is the outer sheath. This is the outer sheath of your sclerotherapy needle. The needle is inside, and again the control is going to be from here. So see, this is the skillet. If you push it in from here, push it, the needle comes out from there. Okay. So at all times, again, while introducing, this has to be hidden. The needle tip has to be hidden inside the sheath. It is inside. Only when you order should he push this and the needle comes out. When you are ready to inject. Otherwise, it should be hidden like this. So train your assistant to hold the needle like this from here. Now it will not move. He is standing on your side holding it, so he should hold it. He should not hold it from here. Any movement here while pushing, and the needle will come out. And now you can simply go and prick the inner lining of your biopsy channel. Creates a puncture. Okay? So train him to hold it like this. Now this cannot move. So when you are ready to inject, ask him to show needle. Okay, when you are on the target, then he will push this needle like this. Okay? And now you want the needle out, because now you are going to hold this instrument from here and give the final push. You understand? The final push is going to come from you. So it is actually a teamwork. So he will hold the needle, you will introduce it, take the sheath tip to close to the target, then he will show you the needle, then you will give the final push so that the needle pricks into the tissue. And then again, he will inject. So while injecting, when I am doing this final push, if I hit the tissue, this needle can go back. Okay? It's a resistance now. So he will lock it first. Push and then you rotate it.
It's locked.
Now it is locked. Now it will not come back. You see that? Now it is not coming. Now that needle is locked, now you can prick it. And then inject, unlock, and it comes back. Okay? So when you are ready to inject, before that, outside itself, your assistant should prime the needle. Flush whatever normal saline or whatever you are trying to inject, flush out all the air fluids. Prime it, as we do with all our syringes. Okay? And then have it ready here like this. So he is going to inject, disconnect, unlock, pull it back, and now you withdraw it back into your biopsy. This is how you're going to inject. Have a look at this. The third set of instruments are your biopsy forceps. Foreign body biopsy. Sorry, foreign body forceps, not biopsy forceps. So, you can have an entire range of foreign bodies. As we discussed, small, round, long, sharp, different shapes and sizes. So you will require different kinds of foreign body forceps also. Look, the commonest ones I'm going to show you. You see, all these are different kinds of foreign body forceps. They can be multi-pronged, like this, bi-pronged, two jaws. Now, the difference here between this and this is the length of the jaw. So sometimes you can have a short, small jaws. You call it the rat tooth forceps. Rat tooth forceps.
Excuse me. With sclerotherapy, what do you inject?
We'll come to that.
Okay.
I'm just showing you the accessories. Then we'll come on to the procedure. Okay? So see, this is a foreign body forceps. This is a rat tooth forceps. It's small jaws. Similarly, if the jaws are longer, you will have that's called the alligator forceps. There is the jaws of alligator. Rat tooth, shorter jaws, alligator, long jaws. Or you can have this bi-pronged also. You can see there's a bi-pronged forceps also there. Open the jaws and you have two jaws coming out.
That's what it's for, you know?
Sorry?
That's for.
These are all different kind of foreign body forceps for catching different kinds of foreign bodies. Okay? You may use a snare also. Besides these standard foreign body forceps, the next instrument which I'm going to show you, have a look at all these instruments. Just familiarize yourself with the shape so that you can identify them. Another instrument. This is a very versatile instrument. This is basically known as a polypectomy snare. Simply a snare. Again, the handle design is exactly the same. You see that? And exactly in the same way, when you want to open this instrument, you are going to open your hand like this. Close. And when you open it, the snare actually comes out. Snare is nothing but that loop here, that wire loop. We are going to snare that polyp, basically designed for polypectomy. But again, you can use it. This is wonderful to catch some of the foreign bodies at. And you can use it as a foreign body accessory also to remove the foreign bodies. So see, this is again the outer sheath, and this is the snare on this other end. So whenever I am going to use it, the loop is going to be hidden inside this. You are going to introduce it. When you are ready to snare, ask your assistant to open, and the loop should come out like this. At that movement, look, this shape is really important for us, and you will have an entire range of sizes also.
It's big.
They can be small, they can be large also, depending upon what kind of a lesion you are looking at. So when you have to do a polypectomy, there are two ways basically. One is, supposing this is a polyp, I am just going to put my snare onto this polyp, go to the pedicle, and now I am going to ask my assistant to lock. So now this is snugly placed around the pedicle. Isn't it? Now it is snugly placed around. Now I have to divide this pedicle, transect it. Simplest way is if I ask him to close further, this wire is going to cut through. This is what is referred to as a cold polypectomy. Cold. In contrast to a hot polypectomy where you are going to transect this using current. Using current. You are going to use the same electrosurgical units. Okay? And you are going to use a current mode, coagulation or cut and all those. Okay? And using that current, then you decide. So attach your monopolar cautery cable, you are going to use the same energy source, same kind of monopolar cables, and they are connected onto this electrode. You see this? The electrode is here, right on the handle. So you can do a cold polypectomy, or you can do a hot polypectomy. Or sometimes you want to catch hold of a different kind of suppose toothbrush lying inside. This is a much better instrument to remove it rather than trying all these different kinds of foreign bodies. So sometimes to remove dentures, partial dentures, toothbrushes, pencils, pens, we very often use this kind of a snare as a foreign body. Sometimes it could be a small round foreign body, like a ball bearing. You see those small metallic balls? It will be very tricky to catch hold of those in any of these. We have another instrument which is known as a Roth net. You know, a Roth net is nothing but again a snare if you look at it, but now it has a net.
The net.
It is the same snare, but now there is a net in between. This is like a hammock now. So to retrieve these small foreign bodies, even tissue specimens, you just use a snare to do a polypectomy. Now you have to remove that polyp. You have to retrieve it. The best way to do is to scoop it in this net and then close it. Now once the foreign body or the polyp tissue is lying here, you close these two just close like this. You see that? And the foreign body is trapped inside. The tissue specimen, the polyp is not trapped inside. Okay? And now you remove this along with the scope. You cannot, this is coming out from the scope tip. Okay? But now you cannot pull it back into the working channel. So leaving it like the way I removed the CVD stent. I don't pull it inside the working channel. I see my instrument and I see the stent being held in the tip of my instrument. Then I remove the scope along with the stent. So you can use Roth net for that. To dilate your strictures is a very, very common procedure. You will first have to negotiate that stricture. To dilate a stricture, you first have to have a guide wire across it. Okay? Only then you can introduce a dilator across the stricture so that it can dilate. So without having a guide wire across, you cannot dilate it. So guide wires are integral to stricture dilatation, stent placement and all those things. So different kinds of guide wires are available. So whenever you are doing any kind of stricture dilatation, you will use this. In all cases of ERCP, you know, when you are obviously going to cannulate the CBD or the PD, you cannot cannulate them directly. The most common technique is wire guided cannulation. So with sphincterotomy or without sphincterotomy, whatever you are planning to do, this guide wire tip goes first across the papilla. And then over this you introduce your catheter or your sphincterotome and then do the sphincterotomy. Okay? So these are very, very important accessories for us. Different kinds of guide wires are available. Different kinds. The conventional ones or these hydrophilic ones or the hybrid one. You see, this is a steel guide wire. I'll show you. This is a standard steel. This cannot be used for ERCP. This is used for simple stricture dilatation. This one, on the other hand, is made up of a special nitinol alloy. This one is made, this is stainless steel. This is nitinol alloy. And if you look carefully, this yellow black is a special kind of coating over this. Okay, this is Teflon coating. But now look at this part. This is black. In fact, this is an additional kind of a coating here. It's not just a black color. This is a special hydrophilic coating. The idea is now you're going to negotiate a very, very tight, narrow lumen. So hydrophilic tips, they actually seek the lumen and they help you negotiate the tight, complex structures. Okay? So that is why in ERCP we prefer this. Hydrophilic. Okay? Different lengths are available. Different makes are also available. Different diameters are also available. They can range from 0.018 to 0.035. In between you have 0.025 inches. Different kinds of diameters are available. Different shapes of the tips are also available. You may have a straight tip like this, and if you look carefully, this is actually